Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel, and today is day one in the first 250 miles of me and my Model Y. I'm going to take you through my experience of the pickup process and just me checking out the vehicle when I went to the Tesla dealership in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. And I'm just going to then give you my take and my experience on the first 250 miles with the Model Y. So let's begin. So first, let's start off with the buying experience, my experience at Tesla. They contacted me earlier in the week saying that the Tesla Model Y was on its way to me. They had finally shipped it, and it was going to arrive, I believe it was going to be on Thursday. Well, I was busy Thursday, so we set up an appointment for Friday at about 2 o'clock. And it seems like they do that with all their customers, especially since there's a lot of things going on with the global pandemic and things like that. So we set up the appointment and got ready to go to Tesla. When we arrived, they already had the car out, and Dave was there already cleaning the car and getting it all prepped for us. Of course, it did not have as many bugs and stuff as it does currently. This is kind of a bug killing machine, and it has definitely gotten some use since originally picking it up. But it was very nice and shiny, and that's when I started doing my first inspection of the car. So I came really prepared for the car inspection. I had watched a lot of different videos about Tesla products and the Model 3 and some people that got very early Model Ys. I took all their points into consideration and ended up making myself a 40-point sheet of things to look for on the Model Y, imperfections and things like that. And I brought this sheet with me. So we'll touch on these a little bit, and I'll try to give you some video of them if we can actually see them, especially since the car is a little bit dirty, or probably very dirty by some people's standards. Sorry about that. And I'll tell you what Tesla said about them. So for starters, my 40-point sheet covered everything from making sure there was no scratches on the wheels to the paint, and making sure there was no dents in the car. Panels were aligned pretty correctly. Even went into interior stuff and making sure that there was a tow hitch there, making sure all the lights worked, all the information was correct, the VIN number matched the VIN number they gave me, the whole 9 yards. And what it came down to was basically some just cosmetic things on the outside, and most of them are situated on this front hood here. I do not know if I can bring them out through this video, but in person, if you look very closely, you can see some minor dimples, I would say, from it's either like the painting of it or maybe some imperfections in the hood. It's very hard to see based on the angle, but when the car is clean, you can notice them. And it was something that we brought up to Tesla, and basically they did tell us that, all right, they understood our concern, but this was still under their, this car is made by humans, so it's not going to be perfect. And it wasn't maybe the best response, because I was expecting, them to be a little bit more concerned about it, but that was the response I received. The only other mark that sticks out is right here. Yeah. Good luck seeing that. Oh, there it goes. It's that really bright spot, not the sun. That's the sun. That really bright spot right here. Yes, there's a little bit of a paint chip in that section, and it might be a microscopic. I don't know if it's really a dent, or it just might be a particulate that's trapped under or in the paint. I'm not exactly sure. I'm sorry. I'm not a paint expert, but I would have to say it is definitely the weakness of this vehicle, and it seems like it's a weakness of other Tesla vehicles, is the paint job on the car. Other than that, walking over it and stuff, we really checked the whole thing out. We were looking at all the tires, all the rims, making sure nobody's scuffed them up when they came off the trucks, because this had to go all the way from California to New Jersey, so it took a bit of a trip to get here. But everything looked great. We had some minor critiques maybe on some of the alignments of things, like maybe that's a little bit off. But everything looks pretty good overall on the outside. I don't know, I think that flows pretty nice. This seems to be about the same size, and I think it's fairly small. Again, you guys can be the judge of that. But really though, I don't really see an alignment issue, just just a paint issue. The panels look good. I think the gaps look pretty good. Even the gaps, there's not really a gap here, or if there is, it matches, it seems to match both sides. There isn't like a glaring error in the body panels on this vehicle. Again, maybe this could be in and up a little bit, but I don't know, it's pretty close. Same thing with the taillights. I think the taillights are looking pretty good. Maybe on the trunk side here, maybe the trunk or the lights on the trunk are a little far in. But again, I don't know, they're all in. I don't know, they're both in, and they both kind of have the same amount of gap. So that's, I don't know, it's in my mind, it's kind of debatable. The big thing for me again was just the paint job. So after my detailed inspection of the car and being pretty happy with it meeting most of my 40 points besides the paint part, that Tesla didn't really seem too interested to do anything about, it was then time to, well, get in the car and see how all of that worked. And I have to say, David from Cherry Hill, Tesla, did an excellent job on that part. He really made sure that we were really comfortable with getting in the car and having everything set up. He explained to us how the phone key worked and how you use that to get into the car, how you have a driver profile, how it can store up to like 16 driver profiles. He also gave us our extra keys, our physical keys that look like little credit cards, and those are for people that are doing like work on your car or like valet. You're not going to give them your phone to keep. You're going to give them the card, and then that way they can get access to your card to drive it or to do whatever they need to do on it, which makes a lot of sense. Other than that, he went through the whole information system in the car, that big screen that sits in the middle. We went through all the different settings and things that you can set up on there. Conveniently, though, he actually had the car set up in what he calls a Tesla standard mode. I don't think it's something official from Tesla, but since he's been working with the company, he started setting up cars in a Tesla standard mode, and it was basically the most common settings that everybody wants and a good starting point for the new customers to get used to their Tesla. So I think this Tesla standard mode that Dave came out with is a pretty great idea, because for me, I knew that everything was kind of standardized to the most convenient or most common settings. So I knew kind of what to expect, and then from there I could go adjust things accordingly to my own personal preferences. And I think that was really smart. At no point in time did they ever make it feel like they were kind of trying to rush you along, which was really cool. And he was very consistently asking me, hey, are you comfortable with this? Are you comfortable with driving this car? We moved through all the steps of putting into reverse and park and drive. And he made sure that we, understood the whole concept of that. Because remember, there's no shifter on this car per se, the one that's usually in your center column. Yes, you hit the brake still to put it into reverse and things like that, or into park. But it's a little bit different of a motion and of a concept than your usual vehicle, especially since you're controlling so much from that center tablet or center screen on the car. So after that, we just kept playing with the car. We told them, hey, we're good. we got this. He's like, all right, if you need anything, just let us know. We're more than happy to help you out. And I would say a couple minutes later, we rolled out of the Tesla Cherry Hills parking lot. Very satisfied with the information that they provided and how confident they made us in driving the car the many miles and the hour-plus drive home. Now, one thing that Dave did push when he was explaining this to us is the need to kind of play around with this car, park it in your driveway and just play with the settings, learn more about it, basically touch buttons and understand what they do. Go for rides and just try to see, how the car handles, get used to that, not exactly one brake and one pedal lifestyle, but basically driving the car with the gas, letting off that gas, and controlling the regenerative braking so that you don't have to use the brake as much unless you really need it for emergency situations. Of course, you should still use your brake because it is there and it is a brake, but you can let some of that regenerative braking brake a little bit for you, which is pretty cool because you do gain some miles back on your battery. All right, so that is exactly what we did. We drove around, we played around with the car, we tested out autopilot, which was a really interesting experience. It's something that I have definitely never experienced in a vehicle, and it makes this vehicle definitely a lot more than just a vehicle. In my mind at this point, you basically are purchasing a computer or a cell phone, if you want to think of it that way, that you drive around and it helps you get places. But the car itself feels and seems very intelligent. It feels and seems very capable. And so far, my impression of it is really positive. The biggest negative at this point is Tesla really needs to learn how to paint a car. You wouldn't think it's a hard concept. It's not rocket science, but that is definitely a negative. Everything else, though, kind of blows it out of the park and kind of mutes that paint point in a way. I will be wrapping at least part of this car to protect the paint. And also, we look in these bottom panels here. These are like a heavy-duty plastic coating, like an ABS coating on them, and they aren't painted, so that's going to help a lot, especially with rocks kicking up and snow and things like that, because it does snow here in New Jersey. And then after that you do get regular paint, but we'll see how it goes, and I'll continue making videos in this playlist about my overall Tesla experience. So there's a look at day 1 and 250 miles. We'll see what we do on day 2, which will not be the next day, but we'll just call it day 2. Maybe I'll do that one at the first 1,000 miles. We'll see how it goes and just what my overall experience is. If you enjoyed watching this video, please give it a like. Consider subscribing. I would love to hear your feedback in the comment section down below. Let me know what you want to know about this car. If you're interested, we also have a Tesla roof, and I have a playlist on that. Feel free to ask me questions about the Tesla roof as well. That will also have power walls, so we're kind of going for the Tesla trifecta here: car, solar, power walls. We'll see how it goes. See if this is a terrible financial decision or not. All right, thank you so much for watching, and have an awesome day.